Good afternoon, folks. Going to do a battle report today on these wheels here by Warlord Games. If you saw my previous video, it was on Black Powder, and this is their Ancients version, I suppose you could say. It's called Hail Caesar. It seems very popular in the community. A lot of people playing with these wheels, so I thought I'd give them a go. As with all Warlord Games books or wheels, beautifully created, gorgeous pictures of figures. Had a read through the rules and they seem quite similar to Black Powder, so it should be easy enough to pick up. Yeah, lovely looking book. Oh, there's some Britons over there as well. There's Romans, and that's what we'll be using today. So let's have a look at the forces that we'll be using. I'll be taking the role of the Roman commander, and these are what I've got to play with. So on my left flank we have the Roman cavalry, and then we've got a division here, I believe that's what they call them in the rules, division of 4 units of heavy infantry and a skirmisher unit of archers, and they will be led by my commander here with his dog. On my right flank we have another division, 2 units of heavy cavalry, 1 unit of auxiliaries with a scorpion, and they'll be led by this chap here hiding behind his shield. Overall command will be the Emperor himself. Not quite sure why he's got such a small detachment. Maybe his previous battle didn't go well and this is all that's left and they're just trying to get home. And stopping them from getting home is the British forces and this fort, which they are defending at the moment. That's my objective, is to obviously destroy the British forces, but also to capture the fort, because it's stopping me from progressing. So on the Britain side we have their cavalry element, I suppose you could call it, on the right flank, which is 2 units of cavalry, 1 unit of chariots, and the overall commander of the Britain forces is none other than Boudicca herself. And in the centre, as mentioned, we have the fort with 3 warbands led by that little chappy there, and then on the left we have a further 3 warbands and a unit of skirmishers and a unit of warhounds. Didn't see anything in the rules for the warhounds, so I've kind of made up some stats for them. They're very much a one-shot weapon. Can't imagine once you release the hounds that they come running back to their owners. So that's what I've decided with the rules for them. And this division will be led by that chap there. Okay, so I look forward to this. Let's say had a flick through the rules. Seems similar in some ways to Black Powder. So we'll see how they play and see if I can do any better on this one. Okay, so turn one. Turn one was mostly about failed command rolls for both sides, really. On my side, on the Romans, I pushed my cavalry forward, just the one move, because that's all they got on their command roll, and then my commander, the little chappy there, he failed his next command roll, so not much movement. The legions do get the added rule of drilled, so they get 1 move anyway, so they were allowed to push out a little bit. On my other side, again, my commander failed on his roll, so they weren't allowed to push forward. Well, 1 unit was, but that was only because my general, the Emperor himself, did a blunder. So first move and already a blunder, so that's not good, is it? But thankfully it was only a move forward. With regards to the Britons, they pushed their skirmishers forward. You can see there they got a hit on my unit of heavy infantry there, just the 1 hit. My Scorpion got a hit on this unit here, just behind the barricades, and the Britons pushed forward a little bit, just the one move, and on their flank, old Boudica, she failed her command roll as well. So the cavalry element of the Britons did not move forward at all. So a few failures on command on this turn, so not a great deal of movement. So hopefully we'll both have more success on the next turn, and I shall start pushing forward and attack that fort, I think. So we'll see see what happens on turn 2. Okay, so because a lot can happen in just the one move, I decided to change the format of the video a little bit. So rather than just do turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, we'll split the turns down. So this will be Roman turn 2, and you can see that I managed to push my 2 heavy units forward slightly. That was only because of the move that they get because of being drilled. Because again, my commander did not do too well. Although he did manage, before he failed his test, is to push that unit forward there, the Legion unit there, and also to get this unit in Testudo and push them forward. So they're getting close to the barricade now. Not quite there yet, and it gives me a chance to use that model that I've been dying to use for ages. Couldn't not put them in Testudo really, just for the sake of using the model. On the other side, more success. Managed to get these 2 units forward. A couple of hits on the Britons here with the shooting. This unit of slingers had to evade because they were charged actually by that unit there. So they evaded, but they did successfully evade. And my auxiliaries did even better on the other side. Even though I made some fudge rules for the Hounds of the Baskervilles, they got wiped out pretty quickly anyway, so they never really got to fight. Well, they did fight against the auxiliaries that charged them, but not successfully. As you can imagine, a pack of dogs being charged by these burly men with pointy spears didn't phase too well, and they were wiped out. Well, they broke. So this is the Roman situation at the moment on Roman move 2, and then we'll let the Britons move and see how they respond to my units pushing forward now. So we'll see how they do. Okay, so this is turn 2 for the Britons, and as you can see, my cavalry, quite surprisingly, did well. They were charged by the 2 the 2 Briton light cavalry units, and one was broken in the ensuing melee, and the other one was forced to retreat back 6 inches. So okay on that side. The Boudica and the chariot force are starting to move towards the centre a bit now, so we'll see what happens there. Lots of clashes in the centre and on the right flank. As I kind of expected, the Britons charged forward. My line has held, but it's been pushed back all the way along. I pretty much lost all the initial combats, but not enough to break. So my heavy infantry units were pushed back. You can see there, took a lot of hits, but thankfully I've survived the first round, or the first charge by the Britons, which is a ferocious charge, and because they got the wild fighters rule as well, they get to reroll three unsuccessful hits as such, which that's now gone. So I should do a bit better in the ensuing combat. So thankfully, like I said, they haven't broken, just been pushed back. Does kind of leave my Testudo out on a limb a little bit now though, because he's all on his own. So not sure, I might have to push him back unless I can get my my units forward a little bit better. But first of all, obviously I've got to beat these Britons. Same again with the auxiliaries, they were pushed back again, took a lot of hits, but held. So they're doing well against that warband there. So hopefully my line will hold we shall see, I suppose, in the next move. Okay, so here we are, turn 3 for the Romans, and as you can see there, my cavalry, after defeating the first Briton unit, has engaged this second Briton unit. It's not pushed them back. It's a bit of a draw, but they are doing better than the Briton cavalry. To their left, I managed to get a unit up on this hill, but only on the one move, and the units behind failed again. So they failed to advance. Obviously, with the Roman legions have got one move they can use because they're drilled. So they use that, but a couple of failed command rolls. In the centre, starting to get a bit of headway now with the Britons. As you can see here, this unit has managed to push this Briton unit back now. All the units are getting close to their stamina now, though, particularly these two here. Well, as you can see, that Roman unit has actually reached its stamina point now at 6, and same with the auxiliaries over there. They got pushed back a further turn this time, and their stamina's gone to 6. So the right flank of my force isn't looking too great, and a couple of failed command rolls means I didn't really push forward as much as I wanted to, and the fort is still looking pretty safe. So it'll be interesting to see how the Britons are going to reply on this move, and whether they're going to push forward themselves, or are they going to sit more defensive now that I've managed to push one of their units back. I've still got obviously my Roman untouched unit there pushing forward. The unit on the hill there pushing forward again untouched, and the unit in support over there untouched. So pretty evens at the moment. So we'll see. One thing I've not used enough of, either of us, is getting our leaders, our generals involved, particularly in the combats. So I think maybe on this turn start getting them involved, because obviously they can add to the hits as well. So we'll see what the Britons can do on this move. Okay, so turn 3 for the Britons, and this turn went rather well for myself. The chariots here did charge my unit on the hill over there, but unfortunately for them, they bounced off basically. They lost the combat, and they had to fall back a full 6 inches. Even though Boudica herself attached herself to the unit to try and boost the attacks, but she didn't manage to do anything against that Roman unit. But luckily for her, she wasn't killed either. So good there. And my cavalry managed to break the last of the light cavalry. So again, they're doing really well on this on these turns in this game. The other combats I did well in. The one in the centre, I managed to break the warband. It seems that if you can survive the first charge, then you can start to get the upper hand with the legions. So that's certainly the case in that centre. So now I'm looking pretty stable in the centre. Plenty of units unused there, so definitely going to start pushing forward on this next turn. This combat over here was a draw. It's just turned into a bit of a slugfest. Both are now shaken, as you can see, and over on there the auxiliaries took a bit of a battering again, but they're holding on. But I can't imagine they're going to hold on much longer. At some point, I think that right flank of mine is going to fold, but hopefully I've got enough units in a decent stage to do something about that warband if it starts to turn my flank. So we'll see what I can do on this turn. Like I say, hopefully start pushing forward a bit now and make my way towards that fort. So let's see in the next turn. Okay, turn 4 for the Romans, and this has been a very good turn for me on this turn. So we'll, I suppose, I better start on the right. It's been quite an onslaught. So my cavalry unit again did brilliant work. They charged the chariots that had been pushed back from my unit that was on the hill over there. You notice they're not there anymore. I'll show you where they are in a minute. So they charged forward and they hit the chariots here, and they managed to break them. Again, great work. Not only that, but young Boudica there, well, I'm afraid she is no more. She was slaughtered in the ensuing melee. So the cavalry did sterling work, and then my infantry, the unit that was on the hill over there, they are over here because they managed to reach the wall. They pushed through, pushed the unit back, as you can see there. It's not broken. Well, this is actually the second unit. The first unit was broken. This is the unit that was behind it. So they then obviously advanced and hit this unit. Next to them, the other Roman unit, that's pushed forward and that's broken the Briton unit that was holding that line. And on this side of the wall, these are just barely holding on. Also on my right flank, you see some Britons retreating there. That's because they got hit in the flank by that Roman unit there, and obviously they were fighting with that Roman unit there. On the extreme right, the auxiliaries, you see over there, still holding on, just about. But two of the divisions are basically wiped out for the Britons, and all that's left really is that unit that's fighting the auxiliaries, and then this unit here and this unit here. So I think we can safely say that this is a Roman victory, and a victory for myself. Doesn't happen often, so I'm quite pleased. And we also obviously managed to stop Boudica. She is no more. So yeah, I enjoyed this game. It is similar, I suppose, in ways to Black Powder. I think the melee bit works really well, because I think it can go on for 3 or 4 moves, to-ing and throwing, and obviously as you push more units into it, more reserves and supports. I think it works well. Only one blunder, which didn't really make any difference. So yeah, a good game, and I did enjoy it. And I think it can work on a small table, or a smallish table. I mean, you'll notice my units obviously are very small, but I didn't see any problems with it. It worked quite well, and a glorious day for the Romans. So we'll see which battle we do next. Might be Hail Caesar, might be the War Game, or it might be a bit more Black Powder. We'll see. Thanks.